Three, two, one.
We'd like to welcome you to another edition of Grok Talk, brought to you by New Hampshire's leading conservative blog site, granitegrok.com. We are your feared extremist, right-wing, hard-charging, gun-toting, opinionated, outspoken, rabble-rousing, letter-writing, radio microphone stomping conservatives and rational libertarians. So get ready for more news and opinion you could only get from granitegrok.com.
Grok Talk.
Welcome to Grok Talk. We have unexpected guests, but we'll get to that in a minute. I wanted to let you know that Kirk McNeil and Kevin Bloom will be joining us today to talk about a host of local issues. Guy Comtois on the phone, waiting to give us a legislative update. We will be calling Dr. Gerard Giannoli around 10 o'clock. This is a gentleman who has a medical practice. He accepts absolutely no private or government insurance.
Concierge service.
Basically, yep. And then special election candidate Yvonne Dean Bailey, who's running in Rockingham 32, will be with us at 10:30. Jane Cormier's just walked in the room because she's got a little business down the hall here. And so she's going to be in the neighborhood every week. Yay! So welcome to Grok Talk. And, of course, Kirk McNeil's already here.
And
so,
Mike.
And
Mike.
Can't
forget Mike.
Mike's on the phone. I gotta turn everybody on. Here we go. All right. So we got all these people. We got all these headsets. I don't know what this is going to do for the... You're phoning in. Yeah. Stay. Okay, so hang on. I'm going to turn that off so you can adjust your microphone. But anyway, let's get right to it. Excuse me. Should have drank my coffee. Guy, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How's it going?
Good. So let's talk about the Jaspercrats and
Oh, I like that.
that's Ed somebody.
Ed Nail?
No.
Ed Como?
Ed Mosca.
Ed Mosca.
Ed Mosca. So that's courtesy of Ed Mosca. Give him full
Jaspercrats.
credit, Jaspercrats. So what's up with the Jaspercrats in the house, huh?
Well, same old. You know, he's kind of like a mini dictator. We were in. Well, it is. I mean, we're
Sugar-coated guy.
Not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. I mean, if a bill goes on the consent calendar, in other words, you're in committee and you have a 17-1 or 18-0 vote on a bill, you can put it on the consent calendar, which means that all the committees throughout that week before put bills on the consent calendar. So you pass one vote, you pass a whole block of bills. So some bills were put on the consent calendar that folks wanted to debate. So it only takes one representative to go up and remove a bill from the consent calendar.
And you were that person, right?
No, I was not.
Oh, darn.
But a few of the folks in Murderers Row were. and at the end, so the day took longer than it was expected. You know, we had to lecture us that if people keep taking bills off the consent calendar, and none of these bills even came close to winning, to being overturned, then we're going to be spending some long days up here. You know what I mean? So here he is. He's got to sit there and lecture us, you know, on the reason why the day went so long. Well, you know, very seldom do you overturn a committee report on taken from the consent calendar, but you got to try. I mean, that's what we're there for. You got to bring it to light. And so now you're being lectured that you're going to have long days if that keeps happening. So, you know, who do you think you're talking to, buddy? I mean, you know, everybody out there ran for election from the people in their district. We don't need to be taking, you know, if we think there's a chance or if we think that bill was, you know, come out of committee the wrong way, then you have that right to take it off to consent and then debate it on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you shouldn't be being scolded, more or less, for doing so.
Well, you know what, Guy? It's Jane. How are you?
Hi, Jane.
Listen, I have to say that right on topic of what you're saying, I hear through my people in the legislature that any life bill is also being in the background told to just let it go. He doesn't, you know, Jasper is not going to really put any weight of the party, our own platform, mind you, of life, right, behind any legislative bill that comes up for life. And it's really interesting if you look at the roll call of the 3 life votes that have come before the House since session started, you can look at the roll call vote, and it's really interesting to see how that vote comes out. Because I think Jasperites, is that the word?
Jaspercrats.
Jaspercrats. Man, that is such a fabulous term.
Yep,
I'm
Ed
going to write
Mosca.
that down.
Thank you, Ed Mosca.
Yes, I read that on his blog yesterday.
That's where I got. He tweeted something
Yeah.
in response to something I wrote, and then I went and followed his link, and I'm like, oh, I love this. This
that's
is awesome.
right. It's true. It's true. So, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. He's the king of us all, and
Oh yeah. It's like HB 582, the constitutional carry, the House version, the one I sponsored. The word was last week that they were going to retain it. No, the Senate already passes it. Same exact bill. Senate passes it, and then we're going to retain it.
But that's because the House bill had all of the strong, good conservatives behind that bill, you see? Those are the people that Jasper is not going to assist in any way. Because if you look at that bill in the House, it's all you great conservatives that have stood up time after time and taken the heat and done the right thing when you vote. So you see, he's not going to assist that vote, even though the Senate, who I have to say, even though they passed the bill, there were some people that sponsored that bill that you really have to wonder if they believe what they signed on for. Bradley and Putin. But so the one bill, right, that's put in the House for a constitutional carry that is by the people that have always stood by constitutional carry is going to be held up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and he's on record in public saying he supports it. So, and I was trying to tell some of the gun owners that showed up, I said, this is the way it works up here, believe me. The committee chairs, vice chairs, serve at the pleasure of the Speaker. This committee chair would not be retaining a bill like this that brings in this much controversy without permission or the word from the Speaker.
Well, isn't
just the way it is?
Yeah.
It's the way it is.
Guy, isn't it the word out there that if he thinks a bill is going to be vetoed by Maggie the Red Hassan, he's going to slow walk it or as slow as he can, and if it's going to be retained, it's obviously very slow. But basically, is he just now kowtowing to what Hassan wants? She doesn't want this bill?
Well, Skip, I really don't believe he has a hell of a lot of core beliefs. So I think that it's not because, she may veto it. I just don't think there's really, he's there for the ride. Look at me, I'm the Speaker.
Caucusing with the Democrats.
Yeah.
You're saying the last principal he had was in high school.
Whatever's going to promote me, that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? Where are we today,
Exactly.
He probably walks in the Speaker's office today and says, where are we today?
Or is this sort of kowtowing to Deputy Dog Shurtleff, who doesn't want anybody to have a gun unless you're receiving a government paycheck?
Yeah, well.
Phone to Deputy Dog.
Yeah.
He always starts off, too. When I first got there, the first time a gun bill come up and he got up, I'd say, this guy's probably going to be okay. Because he gets up saying that he's an NRA member, and he owns a Glock, and he owns a 7mm, and he owns this, and he owns that. And then he dashes the Second Amendment right down to the toilet. So, you're exactly right. There's nobody smart enough besides him and the ones around him that should own firearms.
I want to just offer something, because I was on the phone with some people nationally who I have to remain nameless with, but national politics, that are watching the Jasper debacle. They know, no, I'm not kidding. They know with names what's going on in the state of New Hampshire within the party, within our New Hampshire State House, which I found incredibly interesting. That an out-of-state big organization knows every single thing, and in fact brought the subject up to me in detail.
Well, if these are conservative groups you're talking about, everybody that's a conservative that knows what's going on around them knows that they're trying to shove us out of the Republican Party.
Yes, indeed.
So it's no secret. They want to turn the GOP into a corporate like the Democrats have done with their party. And, very little say, all the say at the top. And so, I would think they would be watching us because we are kind of like the incubator, first in the nation. We're small. We're easier to, to understand politically, I think. And so, yeah, I mean, this is a huge debacle, and obviously I think a lot of the presidential candidates are going to have to come see O'Brien. I mean, I don't think it would be very smart for them to come and see this Republican Speaker of the House because he wasn't put there by Republicans.
No, the conservative groups, from what I understand, and it wasn't so much the wording exactly, it was how they were speaking about him. Like, lack of respect, huge. And it was comforting to me, I have to tell you.
Yeah, Jane, you should have saw him, Chair's prerogative. Look at the time, the clock right now.
It's a big word.
We should have been out of here 3 hours ago, and none of these bills taken off consent even came close to being overturned. So if this is what you want to do, then we're going to be having some long days ahead.
Good.
Oh, gee, okay.
Hey,
you know what I mean? Okay, Sister Superior, now I know what I'm going to do. I didn't realize that we took those bills that were taken off consent was the reason why we're still here. I had no idea why we were still here.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're, right up there, and, with his attitude and just, I hope all the conservative groups are watching this buffoonism because it's just ridiculous. It is. And I don't, I really don't care what he thinks about it because I get asked up there all the time, well, aren't you kind of waiting for your loafer to drop up here? I'm like, well, the loafer can drop, but I don't know what the loafer's going to do when it gets there because what are you going to do? Where are you going to put my seat up? That's what I was saying. My seat's going to end up on top of the gold dome.
Well, it sounds like he believes
seagulls crap on me.
Oh, no.
It certainly sounds like he has the same outlook on things that Obama does, that he should be able to rule by decree. He doesn't understand that democracy, our constitutional republic, was made to be slow, made to be messy, made to be irritating, because they wanted to make it hard to pass stuff through.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very difficult to pass stuff. So most of the time, it's incredibly difficult to override a veto, so you know where they were thinking there. They don't want these overridden unless, it's something that's important, They don't want it to be an every day of the week thing. They made it difficult. And this guy's just, I don't know. I guess I got to fall back on what Mom says. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. And I said, well, Ma, you might as well just tape my lips shut if I'm going to be up there.
Well, you know the rejoinder to that one, don't you?
Just say anything unless you have something good to say, and boy, is this good.
He's actually in the room with us using his phone headset. That's why you hear the echo. All right, Guy, we're running up to the end of the segment. Anything else we need to hit real quick?
Nope, nothing that I can think of right now. No word on the budget yet, and so that I'm sure will be a lot to talk about.
We might take a whole segment for that. So, all right, thanks a lot for calling in, and we'll hopefully talk to you next week.
All righty, thank you. Take
care,
Jane.
We'll see you.
Bye.
All right, we got the phone lines closed off for a little bit here. All right. Did you have something you want to cover real quick? Because you have to give your headset to him.
I will definitely. I'd love to. Thank you for letting me do this. The New Hampshire Right to Life, of course, of which I'm president. I'm watching really carefully the legislation that's coming out of the House. And I would just like to reiterate the wonderful family platform that we have for the Republican Party, and which supports life at conception and bans the use of public resources to fund or promote abortion. We had 3 bills come up. 194 that says life begins at conception. 670 that was an act relative to the rights of conscience for medical professionals, abortion, and or professionals that don't want to get a flu shot, right, but can get fired because they don't want to take the flu shot, and they have no right of conscience to say no to that. Everybody just thinks it's an abortion issue. 670, right? And then 677, which for me was an absolute killer, preventing public funds from being used to subsidize abortion. Okay? And I think that there were a lot of Republicans that voted against these bills that were not a surprise. These are the typical Emersons, the people that call themselves exactly. They call themselves Republicans, and we know
the Jaspercrats.
Yeah. Right. But
that's going to be a great term.
There were others though that would surprise you on some of these votes. And I just want to, put out there that we're going to be following these. And we have little campaigns coming up to put the heat where the heat deserves to belong. And you know what? If people are going to call them liberty, they believe in liberty candidates or conservative candidates, and they can't support. I can understand a libertarian that maybe doesn't want to get into a life issue saying life at conception, they can't go for that. I cannot understand a liberty candidate saying that they think public funds should go to support abortion in a private company. Privatized businesses receiving taxpayer money to kill babies for me is a huge no. Huge no. Big sign on the wall that says, don't vote for it, even if you are a big L libertarian. And we're going to watch these votes. We're going to make sure that these reps, that this isn't going to be voting in silence and then you walk away. We're going to make sure we put the heat on them. There are some things that the Republican elected officials should be able to vote for, and not subsidizing Planned Parenthood, in my mind, is a huge no-brainer.
All right, we're going to take 60 seconds. We'll come back with Kevin and Kirk and go on another legislative rampage. Be right back.